Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Darrell Brooks saga. I'm Jester, and yes, I'm still on my work trip, so it's gonna sound a little bit different. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do it the best way that I can, but it's not gonna be the same that the office that I have at home. But we're gonna continue with the trial. Today we're gonna finish day 6. Last episode he was really disappointed that they didn't let him answer his questions again. So let's see how he does today. If you like the video, please subscribe. I'll continue to try to pump this out every day since until the end. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do it, but the streak continues. I think I have like 20 something videos straight. So subscribe if you want to see more. All right, so let's get right into the video.
Mr. Brooks, not now.
Not allowed to.
Not
Not
now. The jury is in this courtroom and you will show respect for them and for this court.
Respect for them would be
Mr. Brooks,
telling them the truth.
stop.
The truth.
I'm putting you on notice that you are on the verge of this court creating a curative instruction about your frivolous arguments. I will not have you claim legitimacy for what are debunked, frivolous, sovereign arguments.
Then
That is why
prove it.
your questions
Prove it.
are being
Prove that it's
objected
frivolous.
to,
Prove
and
that
why
it's frivolous. Prove it.
all the cases that we've already referenced, sir. We are in recess. We'll be back
And
in
prove
5
it.
minutes. Thank you, everyone.
I don't agree to a estoppel. Can you prove?
All right, buddy. She doesn't have to prove anything to you. You have to prove stuff to her. That's how it works. She doesn't have to do anything at all about you. He does it so you can get it, but she doesn't have to. And he's still talking. Well, we're off the
Let me
record.
say this, Judge. The ebb and flow of this trial has been very difficult to predict, not through any fault of the court, but by events.
Events.
We do have 2 witnesses here ready to go. If the next witness goes relatively smoothly, would you consider letting us call the second one and maybe wrapping up by about 6 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. If not, he can come back tomorrow, but he's been here twice already.
No, we'll keep going. I prepped the jury for that yesterday, so we're good. I'm going to have the jury brought out. All right. Bring the jury in, Madam Clerk.
And I object to that.
Object to what?
To the timing?
Yes.
Your objections noted. We're going to make up for lost time from yesterday.
Can we adjust the subject matter jurisdiction?
No,
is
we
involved?
cannot.
Talk about that.
He's
We're
still
not
trying
going to
to
address that
stall.
either. That's still not going to be proven, right?
Nope. It's still
frivolous.
It was addressed. It is frivolous.
That's going to get pressed every time. So.
Okay.
Yet to prove subject matter jurisdiction.
And
Any
every time it's gonna get
jurisdiction
shut
at all.
down.
The jury will disregard the comments being made by Mr. Brooks at this time. They are a mischaracterization of the law.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely yes.
They are absolutely not. They are.
All right, thank you, everyone. Please be seated. The state may call its next witness.
Sir, how are you employed?
City of Waukesha Police Department.
What's your position?
I'm a detective.
Directing your attention to November 21st of 2021, were you at the City of Waukesha Christmas Parade?
I was.
Were you there as a law enforcement officer, a spectator, or participant?
I was there as a participant.
And what group were you with?
I was with the Catholic Communities of Waukesha.
Were you with your family?
I was.
Was your wife present?
My wife and my 4 kids at the time, yes.
There are boxes with names that are associated with people through a red arrow. Do you see that?
Yes.
Overruled.
Sir, do you know the people whose names appear on Exhibit 121?
Objection. Leave the witness.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yes.
Do you see arrows on that exhibit?
Yes.
And they're going from a person to a name. Do you see that?
Objection. Leave the witness.
How is it deleted? She's just
Overruled.
describing
Yes.
what's on the picture.
At some point, did you hear some type of commotion behind you?
I did. My attention was directed towards large amounts of screaming coming from behind us. I could see like a roof of a red vehicle.
What were your initial thoughts?
Objection. Hearsay.
What? How is it hearsay if it's his
You may
thought?
answer.
It's his
My
thought.
initial thought that came into my mind at that time when the screaming occurred was that there was probably a lost motorist and there was a vehicle traveling in the parade that shouldn't have been there.
Have you ever worked a Christmas parade in Waukesha?
I have.
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled.
Are there some times when there are barricades set up and a vehicle will come into the area that they're not supposed to come in?
That does occur, yes.
What would law enforcement do in that case?
Usually stop the vehicle and direct them to either stop or remove them when it's safe to do so.
Have you ever been present where the vehicle doesn't stop?
Objection, hearsay.
It's
Overruled.
his.
You may answer.
No.
When you said that you heard screaming, can you describe for the jury what you mean? Because we're at a parade, so I'm assuming that there's some screaming.
Objection, leading the witness.
Sustains to the form of the question.
Can you describe for the jury if the screaming stood out to you?
Yes, it was.
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yes, at that point, this had caused some sort of commotion that was not particularly used to that we've already incurred through the entire parade.
And did you notice anything different about your surroundings as you heard the screaming?
Objection. I asked the form of that question and it was answered.
Overruled. He may answer.
Can you just repeat the question, please?
Sure. Do you notice anything other than the screaming that seemed unusual when that happened?
Objection, different question.
Overruled. I'm not sure what the objection is, but
He
you
first objects that he asked the same question, and then he objects that she asked a different question. Pick one.
may answer.
Clear with the objection.
I realized that something was drastically wrong based on the fact that that vehicle was traveling at a significant rate of speed towards our direction.
When you first saw the vehicle or the top of the red vehicle, approximately how far was it away from you?
I would say approximately 200 feet.
And which shoulder did you look back over when you heard the screaming?
I turned to my left.
And that's when the vehicle was approximately 200 feet away?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes.
What did you see next?
I had my 3-year-old in my left hand, and I had my 9-year-old in my right hand. My 7-year-old was kind of walking in front of us at the time, and I remember realizing that we were going to get hit, and it was going to come very quickly. And so I grabbed my 3-year-old as hard as I could, and I threw him towards the curb. At the same time, I tried to grab Benjamin at that point and throw him with my 3-year-old.
Oh, Benjamin, is he the 7-year-old?
Yes.
And he was in front of you to testify?
Objection,
Correct.
leading the witness.
Testify that.
Overruled.
And you stated that you had your 9-year-old in your on your right side. What's the name of your 9-year-old?
Elliot.
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled. I'm sorry, what was the name?
Elliot.
Thank
Elliot
you.
Hallmark.
When you saw the vehicle and as it was coming towards you, could you estimate the speed that the vehicle was traveling?
I just want to
Objection,
point out,
hearsay.
I don't have kids, but I can't. It's really difficult for me to even think of having to throw your children far away from a moving car. Great for this guy. He did some quick thinking. Nice.
Say.
Overruled. You may answer.
I estimated the vehicle traveling about 30 to 40 miles an hour
So you threw your 3-year-old to your left, you stated?
towards the curb, which would have been to the south.
And how about Elliot?
I don't know if he got ripped out of my arms when the vehicle came through. I just remember that I kind of got, as I turned to my left, I pivoted on my left foot. I got clipped to my left foot, and the vehicle passed us, but I don't recall what happened with Elliot.
How about Ben?
Ben, I saw him stumble and kind of roll from where the vehicle came towards the curb to the south.
And when you said you got clipped, what clipped you?
Objection.
What?
Overruled.
It had to have been the vehicle. I had an abrasion on my left heel, and then I had just white sneakers on that night, and they had black marks along where I had my abrasion on the same part.
If you're traveling down the parade route, was it on your left or on your right?
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
When I saw the vehicle coming, I kind of moved to the left and threw my kids to the left. So we were kind of left of the center line, but the vehicle had passed me on my right.
Did you say that you observed anyone get hit that was behind you?
I don't
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
I don't recall seeing anyone specifically getting hit. I do remember hearing sounds of the vehicle striking objects, and then the only objects in the road were people at the time.
What happened next, or what do you remember next?
I remember turning to my wife. She looked back at me and said that she didn't know where our son Elliot was. It was some time after, I would estimate it to be a minute to 2 minutes after the vehicle had passed, but I had located him on the road further
Wow.
to the south, almost immediately towards the curb was, being tended to by some individuals that had covered him up with a blanket.
While you're looking for Elliot, did you see anyone else on the ground?
I did.
Can you describe for the jury what you observed?
There was a lot of individuals laying on the road as you look back, and I remember specifically seeing Father Pat Heppy laying on the ground. I remember he was, at that point when I had saw him, I thought he was deceased because he wasn't moving at all, so I would assume that he was knocked unconscious. I continued past, and then I remember specifically seeing a younger female who I recall to be as Yamilet Perales laying in the roadway. And two, I thought she was also deceased because there was blood coming from like her ears, and she wasn't moving either.
Once you found Elliot, what observations did you make of him?
The person that was tending to him indicated that he was knocked unconscious. So when I had found him, he actually regained consciousness, but he was crying and complaining of injuries to his back and to his hip and to his leg.
Were there any observable injuries to Benjamin at the time immediately following the car going through the group?
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled. You may answer.
I knew that he had been injured because when I had looked over to where he was over on the curb, I had seen that he had some facial injuries, swollen eyes, some lacerations. After the paramedics had put Elliot on a removable stretcher, I went over to him to pick him up. I had looked down and I had realized that he had an open fracture to his left leg.
Whoa.
Where did you go?
We went to Waukesha Memorial Hospital.
And what happened once you were at Waukesha Memorial Hospital? What did you see?
He's so
in general?
interested.
Yeah, I mean, I was working in the city. We go to Waukesha Memorial Hospital quite a bit, and I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. It was pretty much chaos. When we first got to the hospital, there was some sort of physician or EMT that was actually triaging individuals with, I believe it was permanent marker, and they were triaging individuals on their forehead of what level of injury they needed. And based on that, this kind of directed work they had gone inside the hospital.
Now you stated initially when the car was coming towards the back of your
No guilt.
group, you thought it may have been someone that just accidentally got on
remorse.
the Christmas parade route, correct?
Objection.
Cry, please.
That was not the form of the question.
At least fake cry
Or
for
answer,
us.
rather.
Asked and answered. Sustained.
So after having your initial thought, did your thought change at some point that this isn't a misguided vehicle?
Yes.
And what did it change to?
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
It's not bleeding.
You may answer.
My thought then that we were involved in some sort of terrorist act.
I'm going to show you on the screen in front of you Exhibit 140. I'm going to play the first 5 seconds and see if you recognize this video.
Yes.
We can stop it and go back to 00. Does it accurately reflect what you observed on November 21st, 2021?
Yes.
Objection to the relevancy who took the video.
Who cares?
Overruled.
That doesn't matter.
Does this video contain footage of the Waukesha Catholic community in the parade on that date?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yes.
I would move State's Exhibit 140 into evidence and ask that it be published to the jury with sound.
Objection. Still hearsay.
still not hearsay.
The objection's noted. It's overruled. Exhibit 140 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Saturday, November 20th.
Register with rejected.
I'm never gonna get used to that sound. No emotion, just
Did you see a red SUV traveling westbound in that video?
Yes.
Would that be consistent with what you saw coming from behind you on November 21st prior to
hearsay.
what you just described?
Objection, how do we know the direction? How do we know it's westbound?
Your objection's noted. It's overruled. The witness may answer.
Yes.
Thank you. So I'm going to show you some still shots from that video and just ask if they accurately reflect what you observed.
Objection to the relevancy.
It's relevant. It's what happened.
I have to see them.
What does this photo reflect to you? Sorry.
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
This photo represents individuals from our group in the parade walking.
And are there names on this diagram?
Yes.
And do they appear to be associated with people within this group?
Objection, hearsay.
He knows these people.
Overruled.
Yes.
How is that depicted?
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
The names are depicted by red arrows pointing to the individuals.
And do they accurately reflect the names of the individuals that they're pointing, that the arrows are connected to?
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask that Exhibit 135 be admitted and published to the jury.
Objection to the relevancy.
It's relevant. It's who was there.
Overruled.
You can just circle Jose Perales Alvarez.
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
If you can describe for the jury what you're seeing in Exhibit 136.
Something very similar to the last exhibit.
I'm sorry.
Frivolous
Is there an
objection.
objection?
Leading the witness.
That's not leading. It's overruled.
Do you see yourself in this photograph?
I do.
Okay. I would ask that this 136 be admitted and published to the jury.
Objection, why, where's his name if he's in the video?
What?
That's not an objection. That's a question. You can certainly ask that during cross-examination.
Can you circle where you're at?
Objection. Why is no name on it?
Again,
Overruled.
Relevancy of it.
that's not an objection.
Overruled. You may answer the question.
That's right.
Approximately what location are these taken in relationship to where your group was physically impacted by the car?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled. You may answer.
This was probably about a block prior to us being struck.
Would this be consistent with what you believe generally the formation would have been when your group was impacted?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you 137. Does this appear to be a still shot from the video that you saw in Exhibit 140?
Yes.
I'd ask that Exhibit 137 be admitted into evidence and published.
Objection. Where's the relevancy?
Where is the relevance?
Overruled.
Do you see the
It's
name
evidence.
David Marquez on the
That's
screen?
relevant.
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
Yes.
Can you circle him?
Yes.
Is there any type of delineation as to exactly where the parade route, where it started and where it went to?
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
The parade started up towards Maine and White Rock and ends towards Maine and Wisconsin.
Do you see a purple line on that exhibit?
Yes.
What does that reflect?
Objection, leading the
Overruled.
witness.
It's not
The parade
Hold
route.
on. I'm sorry. What was your
Leading the
objection?
witness.
during the witness.
Leading, did you say? Overruled. You may answer.
It indicates the parade route.
So directing your attention to the area where the Catholic communities of Waukesha, where there's a list of names, do you see that?
Yes.
And are all those people that are listed in that box, were they in the roadway at the time that the red SUV went through your group?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes.
There's a line with that box that's associated with this, a yellow star. What's the significance of that if you know?
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
That would be the general area where we were when we were struck.
Now I'm going to go to Exhibit 160. I'm going to show you approximately 20 seconds of the clip and see if you recognize it.
He's just watching the
Do you
car pass
recognize
by
that clip?
Yes.
with his eyes.
Does that accurately depict what occurred near your group, the Catholic community, on November 21st of last year?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes.
Thank you. I'd ask that Exhibit 160 is admitted and published for the jury.
Objection.
Exhibit 160 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
If we can play this clip from 0 to 50 seconds, which is the length of the clip. The 4 people that you saw sliding through the screen from left to right, did you recognize those people?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as 126, which is a still shot from that video. If you can, it'll pop up on your screen. If you can tell me if it accurately represents that video, that still shot from a video. That video.
Objection, leading the witness.
She's not leading. She's asking a question.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Yes.
Can you identify each of the people that are shown in this still shot by saying their name and circling their position?
Yeah.
Objection, leading.
He's not
Overruled.
leading. And he waits until
This
he
is
answers
Jason
to
Petchloff
ask the objection.
on his back in the roadway towards the south side of the road. This is Marisol Lopez, kind of in the middle of the roadway, and then Gregoria Perez.
One last video. Sorry, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 154. I'm going to play the first 5 seconds for you and ask you if it depicts
I really hate
what
how
you
he
observed
doesn't
on
show
November
any
21st of
emotion
last
to
year.
all of this.
Objection, what's the relevancy?
He even sounds bored.
Overruled.
Yeah, this is a video taken right after the vehicle had come through our group.
Are you able to identify many of the people in this video clip?
Objection, hearsay. There's a
Overruled.
lot of people in here.
So what?
Not hearsay.
He's asking
I'm
who
gonna
does
take
he
you to
know?
This video, and
What?
I'm going to pause it at certain places and
It's
ask
hearsay
you if you
because there's a
recognize
lot of
anyone that's
people.
in the picture and describe their position. If we can start the video and stop. Do you recognize the person depicted at 13 seconds?
Objection, hearsay.
If we can clear the
Overruled.
screen, I'm sorry.
Laying on the ground right here in the blue, that's Lori Locken. So this is my daughter right here, and then right behind her in underneath that blanket, that's where Benjamin is. He's being attended to by some of the individuals there.
Okay. If you can just say stop if you see Elliot.
He's being attended to. He's right with this group of people right there.
There. He's looking at the victim. Like right now, he's looking at a picture of the kid that he broke his leg. His bone was sticking out, and he's just like, weird. Hey, it's
And you recognize that
Awful.
to be the position you went to when you found him?
Objection, hearsay. We can't see who that is.
we can.
It's not hearsay. Overruled.
Yes.
If we can continue on. And if you see someone from your group on the ground, if you can say pause.
Okay.
If we can pause here. Do you recognize that person?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yeah, there's 2 people. Marisol Lopez is right there, and then Adir Lopez is right here.
I'm sorry, is that still Marisol?
Objection.
We can pause here.
Pause. Who is that if you know?
So this is still Marisol.
Said objection.
Overruled.
I didn't hear.
So this last yellow line I just drew, that's still Marisol.
Do you recognize this person?
Yes, that's Eileen Perales.
Okay. And is that how she appeared on November 21st of last year?
Yes.
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
And is this a picture taken from a video from the parade?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes.
Incredible.
I'd ask that the court admit Exhibit 162 into evidence and publish it to the jury.
Objection, hearsay, and relevancy.
The objections are overruled.
I think per Alice is wearing kind of like a black coat, some sort of pink leggings, and then she's wearing some sort of like maroon colored hat with white on it, like white stripes.
Okay. If we can save this screen capture, and this would be 162A.
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled.
It's still people in the parade.
As to publish Exhibit 92, which has previously been admitted into evidence. I'm not going to ask you if it's the exact same hat that was on Eileen's head in Exhibit 162, but is the same type of hat in terms of has the same wording on it, same color, same palm color as the hat that Eileen was wearing in Exhibit 162.
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled. You may answer.
Just asking if it looks the
It
same.
looks remarkably close, same color, same patterns of the lines, the writing, and then with the top on it. Yes.
Thank you. I have nothing else.
All right. So we're about to see the cross of Darrell Brooks. Like, this is the whole package. This guy is the whole package of everything wrong that he did. He hit him, so he's an injured party. He hit his kids. One of them had a broken bone sticking out of his leg. He was his whole community, the Catholic Waukesha group was there, and he hit them. Now let's see how much empathy and respect he has for this guy that he hit with his car. I don't have a good feeling about this one.
All right, your cross, sir.
What? Is he being like
So
sad
you
right
saw
now?
all those videos that were shown, all exhibits rather, all 12, 13 of them. You saw all those before today?
I don't recall there was 12 videos. To the best of my knowledge,
126, 15, 137,
Wow.
136,
He's just-
135, 140,
Like,
158, 160, 154.
Straight from the bat, no respect for this guy. He just interrupts the question that he asks and starts listing the videos.
162, 92, at least 11 or 12.
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to strike your comment because you cannot testify. You did not let him answer. Let him answer first, and then you can ask follow-up. The jury will disregard the statement made by Mr. Brooks. Go ahead.
I believe there was only 3 or 4 videos, but there was numerous screenshots or photos taken from those videos.
That's why I said exhibits.
You said videos first.
Have you seen all exhibits before today?
I had seen those exhibits, yes.
And do you know who took any of those exhibits, the videos or still shots?
No, sir.
Who cares?
So how were you able to see them?
What?
Can you rephrase the question, please?
How were you able to see them if you don't know who took them?
What?
I saw them on the screen.
Yeah, I just saw them.
I'm not sure I'm following your question.
Before today, you said you saw them before today. That's what you just said. So I'm asking, I asked after that, do you know who took them? You said no.
Yeah.
So how were you able to see them before today?
Who
I
showed
believe
them?
they were
the
collected
videos
by
to
the
you?
police department as evidence.
Yeah.
And that's how you saw them?
That's how we were able to view them afterwards, yes.
Did you view all 12 of them in their entirety at the same time, or were they at different dates?
He's still asking if
From
they're
the question,
videos.
Grounds.
did you view them all in their entirety? Again, it makes it seem like he's referring to videos, and if he is, that's fine. If he could just clarify videos or exhibits.
Sustained as to the form of the question, please rephrase.
Exhibits.
He's so
I just
annoyed that he gets
reviewed the exhibits, the photos, not the videos, but the photos, as you're explaining in these exhibits, prior, just in preparation of my testimony.
In preparation of your testimony, what do you mean by in preparation of?
prepared. Unlike you.
Preparing my testimony for court, making sure that everything that maybe kind of recall my memory, anything to that nature, making sure that everything is accurate in what I'm going to testify to.
Yeah, it's been a
If
year.
everything you're going to testify to is truthful, why would you need to prepare for it?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained as to the form of the
It's been a
question.
year, my guy.
Why would you need testimony preparation?
Just answer that.
This is a pretty significant incident. I wanted to make sure that I was prepared fully for being here and testifying.
Wouldn't it be easy to just come in and recount what you saw?
Objection. Argumentative.
Grounds.
Yeah.
Sustained.
Why exactly did you feel the need that you had to prep yourself?
Objection. Argumentative.
Grounds.
He already answered.
Sustained, also asked and answered.
I'm going to direct your attention to Exhibit 154, which is a video. So that's clear for the record, not a still frame. It's a video.
You want to put up for him?
I want it put up for him.
All right, it's been received
Wait,
before.
something just came out to my mind. I'm sorry to interrupt this, but I was under the impression that maybe the reason why he has his mask backwards was because the front of the mask is blue. And as we saw on this music video, he is part of the red team. I don't know how to say that. I'm not aware of that, but I was thinking that maybe he didn't want to show the blue part because of the, I don't know, his friends didn't want to see him with that. But he has a blue tie, so that now that theory is out of the way. I'm sorry. It's just something that came onto my mind.
Put it up, please.
Can we go to 41 seconds?
Sure. Thank you to the state for assisting. 41 seconds, you said?
41 seconds. Is it fair to
Hold
say
on, do
that?
you want to wait until the jury has it in front of
Yeah,
them?
yeah.
Okay.
In this exhibit, which is a video that's paused at 41 seconds, we can see two people laying on the ground. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Can you see any of the two people's faces right now as it's paused?
No.
So it would be fair to say that you can't positively say who that is from this part of the video that's paused right now.
Well, based on my experience, based on clothing descriptions, obviously Idira and Marisol are mother and child, and body structures, that's how I'm able to identify who they are.
Yeah.
What do you mean by body structure?
Well, Idira is a little bit smaller, and Marisol's is a little bit larger, and that's how I have memory of who she is.
Can you see faces?
No, sir.
I hate this argument. I hate the argument that only because you don't see the face directly that you don't know who they are. Like, you know them. You know what they were wearing. You know their complexion. You don't need to see the face. And I hate that he's bringing this up.
So it would be fair to say that you don't know for sure who that is.
He was there.
I'm pretty confident that's Marisol and Idira.
Pretty confident?
I'm very confident.
Confident.
So why not be very confident the first time the question was asked? Grounds. Grounds.
Sustained.
Let's go to 58 seconds and pause. Can you see the face of the person laying on the ground under the pink blanket?
I hate,
No, sir.
I hate that he's
Would it be
pointing at
fair to
people on
say
the
that
ground.
you don't know for sure who that is?
I hate that.
As I described before, I'm very confident that that's Marisol that's laying on the ground.
And how can you tell that from the picture that we're looking at now?
It's a video, not a picture.
Well, not specifically just from this picture, but like I stated before, as the video was moving, we could see clothing descriptions, body structure, who she's laying next to.
Is it fair to say that the exhibit is not moving right now? It's paused.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And it's paused with not being able to see who's under the pink blanket. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, sir.
So how can you say for sure who that is?
Because he was there.
If I was to just view this video or this photo without any other context, you're probably correct. I probably wouldn't be able to identify any particular person, but because of the video and how it moved and how I was able to see people, I was able to confirm that that'd be Marisol.
And you came to that conclusion because you've seen these videos before today, or these exhibits rather before today. Would that be fair to say?
No, I come to the conclusion with my memory of being there at that night.
Yeah.
But you did state, just so we have clarity, that you in fact saw these exhibits before today. Would that be fair to say?
Objection has been answered.
Grounds. Can you tell who that is just looking at it right now?
I know that that's Gregoria, yes.
Can you tell who it is looking at it right now? Can you see their face? Can you identify them right now?
I'm sorry, I hate this argument that only because in this exact point of the video, without any context, he wants everything on a point. And he wants him to say, no, I don't know who that is in this instant. I don't know what's going to get out of that.
I cannot see their face.
So it'd be fair to say that you're not sure who that is.
I am sure who that is.
Yes.
And you come to that conclusion based on what we're looking at right now at this moment.
No.
Objection.
Grounds.
Mischaracterizes this witness's testimony.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Let's go to 136. Same exhibit in pause. The person that's laying on the ground, can you see their face?
No, sir.
So would it be fair to say that you don't know for sure who that is?
I'm sure I know who that is.
Based on what we're looking at now, you can tell who that is.
No, he never said that.
Based on my recollection of the incident that night, I know who that is.
Based on what we're looking at right now on the screen, can you tell who that is? You
Yes,
can
sir.
see their face.
He already answered that.
I know who that is. I cannot see their face.
There you go.
So it'd be fair to say from this picture, you're not sure who that is.
Objection. Mischaracterizes
Grounds.
this witness's testimony.
Sustained.
To the right of the screen, right here. Can't tell how many people is kneeled down right there, but it's obvious that they're attending to somebody. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Can you see who that is that they're attending to in any way?
Not from this vantage point, no.
So it would be fair to say that you don't know who that is that they're attending to, correct?
No.
I know who they're attending to.
Yeah, he's trying to
And you
get
can
him
tell
to
that
slip.
by what we're looking at right now?
No.
Objection.
That's not what he
Grounds.
said.
Mischaracterizes the testimony.
Grounds.
Witness testified as this video was going through who he believed each person was.
Who he believed. But we're looking right now. Can you tell who that is that they're attending to?
Yes.
You cannot see that is Jason Petchoff behind them, but that is who is laying on the ground right there.
And you can tell that by what we're looking at right now. You
That's
can
not
see
what he
who that
said.
is.
No, based on my
I hate this
recollection of the
tactic.
incident, is why I know who that is.
I'm saying referring to what we're looking
He's
at,
dumb.
not
And he's
your
dumb by
recollection.
for asking this.
What we're currently looking at right now. Can you tell who that is that's being attended to from based on what we're looking at right at this moment?
You cannot see who the individual is.
Can we go to 2 minutes and 30 seconds and pause? Can we erase that circling arrow?
It's been done.
Please. You see,
Right in front of us, we can see is a group of people standing over someone who appears to be laying on the ground. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, sir.
It looks like they have a Scooby-Doo blanket over them. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, sir.
By what we're looking at right now at this moment, can you tell who's under the Scooby-Doo blanket?
awful.
I know who that
Tactic.
is.
Can you tell by what we're looking at this moment? At this moment right now, can you tell who's under the Scooby-Doo blanket?
No, sir.
Yeah, you got to say that. Now
Go
what?
to 241 and pause. It looks like a woman.
He's thinking right now. He's thinking like, oh, yes, I got him to say that. Now the jury is going to know that he cannot identify that.
Who you can't see the top of her head, but you can see like her chin and her bottom lip has a black jacket. And right in between those, the law enforcement and the woman, you can see that someone's laying on the ground, and you see 3 people attending to them. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell by what we're looking at right now? Can you say exactly who that is?
100% confident because I'm in that photo.
There you go.
And is that you standing over the front of him?
I'm standing over my son.
Or not standing, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Kneeling in over the top of who's on the ground.
Yes, my son is crying because he just got struck by a vehicle and I'm trying to console him.
Yeah.
That wasn't the question.
Oh,
That's you kneeling over with the hat, and it looks like a grayish. I don't know if that would be a hoodie, but like looks like it's some like bluish black to the sleeve.
what?
Would that be you?
What kind of description is that?
I'm wearing a gray sweatshirt. My son is wearing the blue jacket.
I could be mixed up.
That could
I
be-
apologize for that.
He's confusing a kid with a man.
So it would be safe to say, by what you just said, you were 100%. You were adamant, 100% that you knew who that was.
Yes.
Would that be fair to say?
Yes, sir.
But you didn't have that same enthusiasm for everybody else that we were just looking at. Would that be fair to say?
Objection. This characterizes this witness's testimony.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Tell him to move on.
Your 9-year-old was in your right hand, and your 3-year-old was in your left hand. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, sir.
You stated at some point that your 9-year-old was ripped, or you didn't know if your 9-year-old was ripped out of your hand. Can you explain what do you mean by ripped?
At the point where I lost contact with him is about the point where the vehicle had come through. So I didn't know if it was the force of the vehicle taking him away from me that forced our hands to be separated, or if we had just separated hands prior to that. But based on my recollection, it was simultaneously as the vehicle had passed through us.
And was that 9-year-old injured?
Yes.
Yeah, Elliot was thrown in the air and he was knocked unconscious.
And what happened with your 3-year-old that was in your left hand?
I threw him with my left hand towards the curb.
When you say threw him, what do you mean by that? Was it
Was holding on to it. I'm sorry.
quick toss, or was it like a
What do you
harsh
mean to
push? Or
throw him? What do you mean throw him? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's the internet Wi-Fi. But what do you mean throw him? That's a. Wow, what is that question? I think I'm gonna have to pause the video and see what's wrong with the internet, but I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. We can move on.
define thrown.
I
Define
picked
throw.
him. I was
What
holding
is
on to him with my
Newton's
left
law?
hand. I grabbed him off the air and threw him as far as I possibly could because I knew that he was going to get hit by a car.
Do you recall if he was hurt in the throw?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Overruled. He may answer.
I didn't actually see him that night because I stayed with my other son at the hospital.
You made a reference to the speed. How did you come to that estimation of speed? Do you have any expertise in speed analysis in any way?
No, just my experiences driving as a motorist and being in law enforcement for 15 years, estimating vehicle speeds.
So it would be fair to say you don't know for sure.
No, it's
That's
a guess.
correct.
And you already stated that your 9-year-old son did get struck. Did you actually see that?
I did not see him get thrown in the air, no.
Even though you had him in your right arm, or right hand rather.
Correct.
Do you recall stating to the officer that you were interviewed by that you saw a second unconscious person laying on the ground that you further described as a Hispanic female?
Yes, sir.
Would it be fair to say that in your testimony here today you gave names?
Yeah.
That'd be fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Why not in the summary of your report did you give names and just say a Hispanic female?
I'm just going to object to the form of the question. He's indicating that it's Detective Hallmark's summary in this report. It's not been established. Okay.
It's in the form of the question.
Yeah.
I was referring to him already testifying that he had knowledge of everybody that was in his group.
Rephrase your question, please.
Yeah, so you don't have to explain to her. Just
At the
ask
time of
again.
your summary, did you know the identity of the Hispanic female that you referenced?
An objection to the form of the question. It's not his summary per
Ground.
se.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
So should I say in the summary that you gave,
You cannot ask that.
do you recall that comment?
Objection mischaracterizes the summary.
Grounds.
Sustained as to the form of the question, please rephrase.
He has no idea how to ask questions.
In the summary that was given by the officer that you gave the report to, do you recall that
Yes.
statement?
I'm sorry.
I am going to object. The witness has answered the question. Again, I would just indicate for the record that I believe what Mr. Brooks is looking at is a different officer's report that summarizes the statement that that officer received from Detective Hallmark.
Yeah.
With that understanding that that's what it is, I would ask Mr. Brooks to maybe ask his next question with keeping that in mind.
Objection to being called that. I don't identify by that name nor consent to being called that name. And I
Next
made
question,
reference-
sir.
I made reference that it was.
Next
by
Ask
question.
a
another officer.
question.
Next question, please.
And who is Charles
That would be my 3-year-old.
and Benjamin?
That would be my 7-year-old.
Do you recall what happened with Benjamin when you saw the vehicle approaching?
Yeah, he was run over by the vehicle on his left leg.
Do you at any time recall making a statement in the summary that was given by another officer? Do you recall making the statement you threw Charles and Benjamin as hard as you could towards the south curb?
Yes, sir.
That's what he said on his testimony.
If you already stated that you threw your 3-year-old, which you just said was Charles, and you also just acknowledged that you threw Benjamin.
Objection as to the characterization. He acknowledged that the summary that Mr. Brooks is reading said that he threw Benjamin.
He answered the question.
He did not. I believe there's an objection. I'll sustain it as to the form of the question. Please rephrase.
So did you throw Benjamin as hard as you could to the south curb, or did you see Benjamin struck by the vehicle?
So when the vehicle was coming and I threw Charlie, I knew that Ben was in front of us, so it was the same motion with my left arm to get Benjamin and Charlie out of the way. Obviously, I didn't get Benjamin completely out of the way of the vehicle.
Any idea why that was not in the summary?
Why would he know?
I don't recall.
Grounds.
He answered it. He said, I don't know. His answer may stand.
No further questions.
Thank you.
Any redirect?
Real brief. Sir, the identifications that you made in the exhibits that were shown to you on direct examination, are you 100% confident in those identifications?
Objection.
ma'am.
Hearsay.
Sorry.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yes, ma'am.
What is that based on?
My recollection of the incident.
Thank you. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, sir. You may step down.
All right.
To share any information about this case. For example, do not communicate by telephone, blog post, email, text message, instant message, social
are you
media
laughing?
post, or in any other way on or off the computer.
Look at that face. He's looking. Why is he looking at her like that? That's an evil.
I just have a couple
stare.
of housekeeping matters.
Look
Please
at
be
that.
seated.
Why are you-
I asked the
why is he
Sheriff's
looking at
Department
her
to
like that?
provide me with a report regarding the incident with Mr. Brooks and being removed from the courtroom. And I believe he may have even filed like a use of force form or something like that. But I wanted to have it notated or noted in the record. And so that incident report has been filed. Then, just as a courtesy, even though I'm not required to do this, sir, I did follow up on your inmate communication form with our clerk of court, Monica Paz.
Couldn't
She
have done that.
has, I have the response here, and I'm going to provide that for you.
Assess value and term value these filings, and just very briefly, so we can get out of here.
Yes. What?
I have to raise this issue.
Okay.
What issue, Mr.
My
Brooks?
understanding, how can someone who's not an injured party testify on behalf of somebody who is an injured party?
Mr. Brooks,
And it still be
I'm not
charged.
addressing this. It is a frivolous argument. You have a misunderstanding of the law. We are in recess. I am leaving the bench. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone. We're in
Good.
recess.
So that's a tacit agreement. We're not.
Alrighty. I did it again. I'm sorry. Oh, and I did it again. There we go. All right. Well, that's the end of the day 6. Thank you so much for watching. I hated the way that he conducted this witness. It's awful, really awful. All right. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one. Bye bye.